Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Sitting with you guys.
Yes, please. Uh, the next one on the list there, I've scheduled a number of folks to come in for a financial wellness day, including a representative from our Viva administrator, deferred compensation, Department of Retirement Systems, and then Canopy Credit Union is going to come and do some small little workshops with folks related to financial wellness. And then August, that date actually got changed to the 20th. WorkSource is doing a free 1 hour talking about substance use in the organization, and that's really geared toward what knowing the signs for your coworkers, your subordinates. How do you support them? How do you start the conversation if you're worried that something like that might be the case? So I have high hopes for that presentation as well. And then I listed all staff, which I know that hasn't yet been approved, but that's on my radar. I believe Marianne will be coming to you in the next couple of weeks with that. Okay. And then my schedule at the bottom, I just wanted you guys to be aware. For that conference, I did get a scholarship for the registration, and this is one of the best ones of the year. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. And John, are you here to speak?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll let my handlers know that I'm alive.
Okay.
See how that goes. Well, hello.
Hello.
I want to give everybody an update. I want to do that before I knew anything and fuel to the fire, but I've kind of been working with human resources and legal to find out what it means because obviously I'm an elected official. But kind of what my glide path is. So 4/11, I worked myself into a heart attack. I was alone at the house and really kind of couldn't get it to calm down. Kim was traveling. She was supposed to be back from Portland. So I sat there for about 90 minutes through that out of just stubbornness, essentially. And then got it to settle down over the next 30, which is about when Kim got there. And she drove me to Newport Hospital Health Services, spent a few hours there. They said, yeah, you did, in fact, suffer a heart attack. And so I got to try out our ALS services firsthand to Deaconess that night, that Friday night, and got there about midnight. They went through the standard battery of tests, including a heart catheter. They can't put any stents in there to hold open blood vessels or anything like that. It was just all in bad spots. So the following Wednesday, I had open heart surgery, triple bypass, and then they let me go home on Easter. So now I'm just on the recovery timeline there. I have an appointment on the 5th of May. In another day or two, I won't be on anything stronger than Tylenol, so we're past all of that kind of stuff. If there are no setbacks, I expect to be cleared to work maybe on the 5th, but probably not to drive for the appointment another 2 weeks after that. And I'm certainly not committing to anything. So I think at this point, what I would like to talk about with the board, really to kind of let you guys discuss or decide, is if I can, I'd like to make my other meetings, everything that's not here, I'd like to continue to make those just because it's mostly housekeeping and I can compose an email out of those if I felt like there was something you guys really desperately needed to know. But it's pretty light work, and I think I can keep those up without upending everybody else's schedule, right? There'd be some benefit there. And then these, obviously I said Monday, and then 2 weeks from Monday, I have doctor's appointments. But these, I think my preference would be to zoom in and then just have it running in a corner. Essentially, I'd really like to keep up with what's going on here, but in a kind of a non-voting capacity, because I just don't know my disposition on the other end. It turns pretty quickly, you know. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about the surgery. It's a complete separation of the sternum. They took a vein out of really what's most of my leg. I mean, a very large vein, and they use that to bypass all of these, closures around the heart. So it's about as invasive as it gets. And I don't know, just for fun, just for added fun. I haven't had a cigarette for just about a day longer than I haven't had a beard. This is actually the first coffee I've had in a couple of weeks, so I wasn't leaving the house without getting some damn thing. So here I am. But I thought, I don't know. To keep people that had to know, I've certainly had clear communication sooner, and I certainly apologize if I've caused you guys any trouble. But I did want folks to know what happened, where I'm at. And I don't think it changes much for me as far as, timelines or desire or willingness to do the job. None of those things. Some of it was predictable. I think when you smoke for 3 decades, that, that's going to be a big piece there. As you can see, without my beard, I'm just a kid. I'm just a baby.
And it's serious when John doesn't have his beard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a little funny story on that one, Brian, because my nurse joked with me the night before. She was like, I don't know what you're going to do without your beard or something like that. And I hadn't been told it was going away. And neither had she, but she was just making a joke.
Oh.
And then she saw my face a little bit, I guess. Because she's like, no, I was just kidding. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to joke about something like that. Yeah, well, I mean, my scar goes right up to here. So, of course, there wasn't something they were going to try to do with getting my beard out of the way. But yeah, joke's on me. So, been a good while. So, you guys have any questions for me?
I don't really, John. Godspeed. Take it easy. I think we got this. We got the cone. Okay. I would say you make a decision based on your participation that's comfortable with your recovery. And when you feel, just communicate well with us on what that is.
Yeah.
And we'll make it work.
Yes, we will. Yeah, no, I mean, there's only one of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to do what's right for you. The question I have, and by the way, you've now filled in for me, the vacuum of what's going on. And my question is, to what degree are you going to handle the public dissemination or through Brenda of here's what happened? So,
Boy, I don't, okay, so Mary Ann's on, Norm's on. So Don Browning actually texted me maybe a week ago, and he asked, and so I was just kind of a little bit forthright. I was just like, I had kind of, I don't remember what I said, had a medical something or other, and I'm trying to figure out what my recovery timeline is. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. And he just backed out of it, never asked again. I'm like, I don't know, there's gonna be an article, there's not gonna be an article, but generally here at the county, just everybody will know in some capacity and have that answer. Could be somebody will want to send that out in some capacity. I don't know, Robert.
Okay, and so like at one of the fire district meetings where, as we did this at the LAPC meeting where I said, and Brian and I will keep talking about it, one of the fire district commissioners says, well, there's more to you. And I just said, well, not right now.
Well, not right now, yeah.
So how do you want me to, if at all, fill in that blank of?
Yeah, well, there's more than 2 of you for anything that's a big enough deal to be a real vote on. If you're picking up what I put, anything more than standard housekeeping, which sounds like certainly for EMS district. There's more than two of you. So, but that's another part of this conversation is that my phone and my email are wide open for all of that stuff. And so even if I don't happen to sit in on the meeting that day, please, everyone here, use it, consider me in the loop. Just to sit at a monitor and think I'm going to have the capacity to manage, to manage all of my things, basically, is probably naive at this point. And so I want to be able to take my time, compose an answer, do a research, whatever it is, rather than, John, are you here? And who knows where I am, right? Mostly during those Mondays and Tuesdays, I don't know my ability to sit up straight for 8 hours. That would be a stretch for me right now.
Right, just sort of drill in on this one, because I want to avoid getting, a mixed message out or in. If someone says, what happened with John? What do you want us to say?
Had a heart attack.
Oh, we can say that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. No, I mean, so when I was handling it softer, I said what I said to Don, no, I had a medical emergency, and he's recovering and he'll be back soon. I mean, it could be like that. But you can be specific as well.
I don't want to be, but what you just answered.
Yeah. Any of that's fine, and there isn't a wrong answer, Robert. But sometimes there isn't a right answer. I've heard some pretty good ones. I've heard some pretty good ones. I've heard that I shot my hand off and.
Oh, geez.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, a couple of fun ones made their way back to me. So I don't know. Maybe people get some strange ideas. So I was hoping you guys had some good ones for me.
No.
Everybody's just worried about you.
Yeah.
Honestly, everybody. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry I had to come this way. I didn't know how I just really didn't have the bandwidth, frankly, to manage press and me, kind of really tried to use you and Dolly and a handful of others to do that for me, because
I would just say too, Don, going forward, I think keeping informed is good, and you zooming in when you can is good, but let us know when you're ready and willing to make the clean line of distinction.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question.
So make a clean line there, and you will know when that is. And
I will.
If you can't tell it.
And I'll probably even know ahead a little bit. I expect I'll be champing at the bit by the time they let me drive. Yeah. But frankly, I'll be, so Robert and I actually jumped into the same meeting at Martin Hall the other day. In a meeting like that, a 1 or 2 hour, I can set up my whole day to be peak during that meeting and be fine during that meeting.
Right.
I know I'm capable of that. And so I will. But boy, by the time they let me drive and whatever else, that's going to be it, barring a setback. I'll be absolutely going crazy, because I'll still be in a spot where I can't lift more than 10 pounds for half the summer. Things of that nature. I'll be going absolutely loony.
Fishing poles.
Exactly. Yeah. And only small fish, evidently.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Think very
true.
much of me as a fisherman, huh?
Fishing is not catching.
Hand it off to Kim if it's more than two. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else?
No, thank you, Don.
Questions?
Really glad you came in.
Yeah.
Glad that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to zoom in. Brenda and I set this up, and it's like, I feel good enough. I'll just have Kim drop me in. And so it'll be some combination of people driving me around, and Zoom is just such a great tool now. So should be able to keep up. But no, again, if obviously Crystal can run interference for anything, you guys need to get to me directly, quickly. Easy. So, all right, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Take
it easy, buddy.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm calling this my walk for the day, but one of my walks for the day.
Do you need help out?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Nice and easy. And
Yeah. So good to see you.
to see you. And I sure appreciate you gentlemen holding things down. No,
Well, I'm not sure about that.
no
You might be
surprises for me at all.
Exaggerating our abilities.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it just a second. Thank you all.